Our topic for this week is homeostasis. A couple words that you need to understand before we jump into this topic. Maintain means to keep up. Constant means staying the same. Internal means inside the body. And environment, when we talk about the environment for this particular focus, we're going to mean the surroundings of the body. So what is homeostasis? Body cells work best if they have the correct temperature, water levels, and glucose concentration. So throughout this presentation, we're going to be talking about how your body maintains the same temperature, the same water levels, and the same glucose concentration. Your body has certain mechanisms to keep the cells in a constant environment. So to keep whatever your cells are doing, to keep everything the same. The maintenance of a constant environment in the body is called homeostasis. One of the things that your body has to do is maintain your body temperature. It has to keep your body temperature constant. Human beings have a body temperature of roughly 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. For example, if your body is in a hot environment, your body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. If it's in a cold environment, your body temperature is still 37 degrees Celsius. So what kind of mechanisms are there to cool your body down? If you get too hot, the first thing your body can do is sweat. Sweat glands are stimulated to release that sweat when your body gets too hot, and then that liquid sweat turns into a gas, meaning it evaporates. But to do this, it needs heat, and it gets that heat from your skin. As your skin loses heat, your body cools down. So take a look at this. If we say that this white line here represents the skin, and this represents the temperature outside the environment, or in the environment, when the temperature goes up, your skin produces a layer of sweat based on the glands that are underneath your skin cells. And then the heat from your skin causes that sweat to evaporate. That evaporation causes your body temperature to go down. Same thing happens when you get out of the shower, get out of the pool, and the liquid off of your skin evaporates, making you feel cold. What mechanisms are there to cool your body down? Well, your body has something called vasodilation. Vasa refers to your blood vessels. Your blood carries most of the heat energy around your body. There are capillaries, which are really tiny blood vessels underneath your skin that can be filled with blood if you get too hot. This brings the blood closer to the surface of your skin so more heat can be lost. And this is why when you get hot, your skin looks red. So here's an example of that. This tube here represents the capillaries that run from a larger blood vessel. When you get too hot, the blood vessel dilates, meaning it gets bigger, and more blood flows through those capillaries. This means more heat is lost from the surface of your skin. And then you return to a normal body temperature. How about mechanisms to warm the body up? In this case, the opposite happens, vasoconstriction. This is the opposite of vasodilation. The capillaries underneath your skin get constricted or shut down or shut off, and this takes the blood away from the surface of the skin so less heat is lost through your body. If you get cold, the blood vessels constrict, allowing less blood near the surface, so less heat is lost from the surface of your skin. Here's another mechanism to warm the body up. It's called piloerection. This is when the hairs on your skin stand up. I'm sure you've experienced goosebumps, or sometimes people call it chicken skin, where all the hairs on your arms lift up. And these hairs trap a layer of air next to the skin, which is then warmed by your body heat. That air then becomes an insulating layer. So if the temperature in your body drops, the hair on your body stands up and traps a layer of warm air next to your skin. So that's how your body maintains the correct temperature. Another thing your body needs to do is maintain the correct glucose levels. Your cells need an exact level of glucose in the blood, and glucose comes from the food that you eat. When that's broken down, many of the food items you eat are turned into a very small molecule called glucose, which is a type of sugar. If you have too much glucose in your blood, it gets turned into something called glycogen in the liver, and then your body gets rid of it. And this process is regulated by two hormones or chemicals from the pancreas that are called insulin and glucagon. These chemicals act in opposite ways, and you'll see that in just a moment. If there is too much glucose in the blood, insulin converts some of it to glycogen. Glycogen goes to the liver, and that gets excreted from your body in a way we'll see in just a minute. If your blood is low on glucose, then glucagon in the liver converts some of the glycogen into glucose and puts it back into the blood. Remember from 7th grade that glucose is one of the key molecules for cellular respiration, and cellular respiration is how your body makes energy. So, if you don't have enough glucose in your blood, your body's not making enough energy. So this is a really, really important process. Related to this process is a disease called diabetes. Some people do not produce enough insulin, so when they eat food, the glucose in their blood can't be reduced. It stays high. This condition is known as diabetes. Diabetics sometimes have to inject insulin into their blood, and they always have to be careful of their diet. So this is what happens when normally you eat a meal. After you eat your meal, the glucose levels in your blood rise. Then insulin is produced in your pancreas to take some of that glucose out of your blood, send it to your liver to be turned into glycogen, and those glucose levels fall back to normal. But in a diabetic, when they eat a meal, the glucose levels rise, but there's no insulin produced by their pancreas, so those glucose levels stay very high. That causes damage to their organs. The glucose in the blood increases, but there's no insulin to convert it into glycogen. So the glucose just continues to build up in the bloodstream. This causes it to rise to dangerous levels. Related to this is controlling the water level in your body. Your body needs the right amount of water, also coming from that cellular respiration process. And the control of that water level is carried out by your kidneys. It's closely linked to the excretion of urea, which is a waste product that you need to get rid of. Urea is made in the liver when your liver breaks down proteins that are not needed by your body. And urea contains the element nitrogen. So the kidneys. The kidneys clean the blood of waste products and control how much water is kept in the body. The waste products in the water make up the urine, which is then excreted through your bladder and through your ureter. We call it dirty blood, but really it's blood that has picked up the things it's supposed to pick up, and that enters the kidney through the renal artery, and then several things happen to clean up that blood. So renal artery brings blood to this area of your kidney. The next assignment that you do is going to go into this in more detail. But the first step is filtration. Blood, this is a blood vessel, enters the tubule area in a capillary, and that capillary forms a small knot near the kidney tubule. So lots and lots of tiny, tiny blood vessels in order to exchange the molecules that need to be exchanged. The blood is filtered so that all the small particles, those molecules, go into the tubule. And then there's another capillary that carries on to run next to the tubule, which then carries away the clean blood. So let's take a look at this. You have a kidney tubule, and the kidney tubule now contains lots of blood components, including glucose, ions, water, and urea. Some of these things your body still needs. So the kidney tube has to give those back to the blood so that they can circulate through your body and be used the way they're supposed to be. So after filtration, the second step is reabsorbing the sugar. The body needs to have that sugar or glucose in the blood for cells to use during respiration. So all the sugar is reabsorbed back into the capillary. Then it reabsorbs the ions. Water and ions are the next thing that they need to be absorbed, and it depends on how much is needed by the body. So they might take out a lot of ions in water, or they might take out only some, depending on how much is in your blood already. A little note about reabsorbing water. If you have too little water in your blood, you'll produce very concentrated urine. So it's going to appear dark yellow. If you have too much water in your blood, you'll produce very dilute urine, so it's going to appear light yellow. It's much better to have dilute urine and too much water in your body than to have too little. So after it takes out the ions, the glucose, and whatever water is needed in order to balance things out, your body excretes the waste. Everything that's left in the kidney tubule is waste, so that would include all the urea and any excess water. This waste is what we call the urine, and it's excreted via the ureter and stored in the bladder. And then, of course, you pee it out. Clean blood leaves the kidney through the renal vein and goes back to circulate through your body. So, a summary of urine production. Urea is a waste product that's made in the liver, and your body needs to get rid of it. Water content of the body is controlled by the kidneys. Urea, water, and other waste makes up your urine. Urine travels down the ureter and stored in the bladder, and then is excreted through the urethra. So this is a short demonstration of some of the ways that your body maintains homeostasis. If you have any questions or you're having trouble submitting your assignment, please let me know.